Hey, ARKS Silhouette here, this time only a little bit late, and here to tell you all about Halloween, the wonderful sugar-centric holiday about playing pranks and giving grief to all your favorite neighbors. More specifically, as you may have guessed, Halloween in PSO2. That's right, the great spirit of Pumpkin Jack has descended upon the new Oracle fleet, bearing goodies for all the spookiest of trick-or-treaters. What goodies they are? Between the limited urgent quest, Trick or Treat, and the newly added Bewitched Woods, and all the other new additions, you guys are in for one hell of a bucket of treats, packed to the brim with great items. We're talking 14-star weapons, new story content, a set of Halloween orders and an accompanying bingo sheet, new Dark Blast forms, new collection folders with slightly less new weapons, and more. There's a whole lot to go over, so with that said, let's get into it. In PSO2, you'll be doing your trick-or-treating on the familiar desert planet of Lilliput, with a new urgent quest aptly named just that, Trick or Treat. This urgent quest is rocking a number of great drops, such as the 14-star Ares weapons with a host of new S-grade augments that confer a number of boosts relating to your Photon Blast gauge, some new autumn-themed rewards that you might recognize from a certain weapon camo, and Grand Souls being available in relative frequency. All of this pales in comparison to the truest and greatest of all prizes, however, the coveted Orange Rappy Suit Mini. This quest is relatively simple, seeing you moving from place to place, mowing down enemies, and using turrets and other emplacements a whole lot more, as they have boosted damage and mini explosives are positioned around the map to make killing enemies that much easier. The biggest obstacles, or enemies of note, are at the end, including a fight with one of the Omega Fowl's bosses, Zeta Grands, and a few Lantern Rappies, periodically accompanied by Izane Kazuchi and or Lantern Imper Rappies. One of the more subtle reasons to really farm out this quest, in my opinion, is the abundance of augment guidance affixes on various pieces of equipment, often dropped by the Imper Rappy, I believe. This affix, when applied to a weapon or unit, gives future augments to that weapon a flat plus 5% success rate boost after all other penalties, including upslots. It also transfers relatively easily, with 3 instances giving you a base 80% chance to affix it to another piece of equipment. Basically, it's your own free miniature Boost Week augment, and you can save it for Boost Week. Imagine having a flat plus 20% boost to all affixing when the next 15% Boost Week comes along. It sells itself, doesn't it? Players who want more active quests may not find this up to their taste, but personally, I rather enjoy the brief stroll and fun distraction every now and then. If you want to get the most out of this Halloween-themed urgent quest, however, then you'd best be dressing for the occasion. A special PSE die boost will be in effect for both experience and rare drop rate when you wear certain spooky dress and costumes. Hope you've been saving all those silly Rappy suits, or have the AC or SG to check out the new Dark Abyss Scratch and items in the Fresh Find Shop. With this new urgent quest comes Gia, who returns in the night as she always does from the dark crevices of the Oracle Fleet where she hides between seasonal events, and provides a number of new seasonal client orders that line up with the Trick or Treat urgent quest. Pick them up before and between quests, and try not to look at her as she stares deep into your soul, savoring the few fleeting moments she has before she descends back into the dark pit, waiting for another day, another event, another chance. Also, you've got a new bingo sheet, front and back, that lines up with these client orders and the UQ, so keep an eye on that as well. Bingo sheets are character specific, so you have a unique opportunity to double or even triple up on those rewards, possibly more. On the bridge, you'll find you have a few new story chapters to work your way through. Chapters 4 and 5 of Episode 5 are now available, in case you wanted to catch up on those and even unlock your remaining 2 Dark Blast transformations for Apprentice and Gemini, or just catch up on your favorite characters' events. That said, if Dark Blasts are what you are looking for, you really only need to beat the Omega Fowls in question to unlock their power. So you might have a lot more fun just diving right into the new Expedition and or / Ultimate Quest, just Alt Quest, that is, drumroll please, the Bewitched Woods. Whoa, before you head there, let's go to the gate first. If you're a techer, and you know it, clap your hands, because you've got something to celebrate. The first of the complex photon arts are coming down the line, and it's all for you, buddy. Heavy Hammer, and 3 new simple compound techniques are here, and Marlu knows the way. Talk to her, check out her new client order. Are you interested in some new skills? Tell her, yes, I am interested. Grab it, bring it with you, because it requires the new quest and defeating the enemies in it to clear it. Even if you're not a techer, these techniques are pretty cool, and you've got nothing to lose. Onto the Bewitched Woods. This quest is listed as an expedition, and is grouped along with other exploration and free-field quests. But don't let that fool you. It is, in almost every way, an ultimate quest, and therefore generally has the same etiquette and general preparation and requirements in order to be effective and contribute. If you're newer, or only just recently got to the level to do these, don't worry, I'll have a video out all about it soon. For now, the gist is that you want to circle the outermost ring of the map with the multi-party, not head to the boss, and take down heavily buffed and HP saturated enemies. Try to join a player party to boost yours and other party members' drop rates, and please try to avoid bringing partner AI. They're frankly not going to be very helpful, they don't boost your drop rate as much as players do, and take up spots in the multi-party that players who are contributing could actually use. Technical info aside, the Bewitched Woods is a Phantasy Star team's loving apologetic letter regarding Episode 4's drop rates for the elusive 14-star weapons that might well have never dropped at all. There's another video for that. And also, Omega's only real subquest accessible via the quest counter at any given time. This is the original farming catch-up quest, although in this case, given Global's accelerated release schedule, it's more like a wonderful way to accelerate your farming for Judas, Supernatural, and Val series weapons, among many other prizes. Just for the sake of thoroughness, because there is quite a very few notable items here, let's give the 14-star weapons you can find here a good rundown. First up, we have the Akatsuki, the sister sword of the Yonohate, wielded by Regius in Episode 3 of Story Mode. Akatsuki is a returning Episode 4 drop, and like most Episode 4 14-star weapons, it has a set of unique potentials that can really set the weapon apart from other swords. Akatsuki has two modes, sealed and released. In sealed mode, it recovers health and fills gear and makes you immune to flinching. Upon performing a just guard, however, or a perfect guard, the sword changes modes to released, increasing its potency, decreasing your PP consumption, and having a chance to reduce all damage by 99%. It reverts to the sealed mode once gear runs out. For the record, our returning Episode 4 weapons tend to have an altogether better version of that potential that can be unlocked with ultimate boosters found in Trick or Treat or Ultimate Quests. That's the bottom one, the same potential but basically stronger. Most of them, like the Akatsuki, also have a class that they exclusively favor, but not all of them, so keep that in mind and read their potentials closely as we go on. Next up, Apprentice's Grudge Omega is a twin dagger that can drop specifically from the Omega Apriginas that appear during the quest. It has a built-in Zanverse that hunters, bravers, and fighters can take advantage of, regardless of their class, and at max level, with both of its potential and S-grade augment, a total of 17% potency boost to perfect attacks when you're chaining different photon arts and attacks together. The boots and dagger, it looks like they just misspelled dagger, of Gabriel, similarly, are dropped specifically from the Omega Drambles that appear during this quest, the Omega Gemini counterpart, offering a flat but relatively minor potency increase, and more notably, a follow-up attack whenever it's used. The Bringer Rifle is a higher rarity item than most on this list. This gunblade has a notable boost of potency in its ultimate potential, and has a unique reload mechanic where you can load 6 bullets that can be fired rapidly, dealing increased damage before it returns to normal gunblade function, needing to be reloaded again to get this unique mechanic back. The Kuvel Scarlet is a returning Episode 4 weapon, and is most likely remembered as the Master Moon from the cover of Chrono Cross. Its potential sport considerable potency increase, and a big buff to the Kamai Itachi for double sabers. I hope I didn't say that wrong. Kuvel Windia also arrives fresh out of Episode 4, having not gotten its Yamato drop unfortunately. Its potentials deal with a set of big buffs coming from activating chain potentials that gunners use. Heroes won't see a big boost out of this, but the stat line is no joke if you happen to get them. The Demonia series of weapons makes a comeback, still offering the same great benefits for heroes. Don't mind the question marks too much, not even S-Wiki has the numbers for these hero boost accumulations. In any case, these are still your go-to weapons for heroes in almost all cases, beating most of the other tier with this unique class-specific potential and the raw stat line. Your first possible alternative, however, is this, the Elder Pain Omega. It drops from, you guessed it, Omega Hunals that spawned during this quest. This saw a lot of use on JP, not only as a main weapon early on, but as a utility sidearm later for its health stealing effect. Portable, always on miniverse? Yes please. Much like the Kuvel Windia, the Eternal Psycho Drive is a returning Episode 4 weapon. This rod is a great powerhouse for forces at the moment, as its potential not only cuts PP consumption, but also boosts the element conversion by a great percentage, which converts the element of the weapon to technique damage, and more if the technique is the same element. Unfortunately, this and a later S-grade augment found themselves pretty nerfed significantly in later patches, which we are presumed to have. So it won't have as much longevity here, but still a great find and a fun rod nonetheless. Jupiter Tullus. Jupiter Tullus. Haha. Oh boy. If you've been watching these videos at all, you know how hard I've been searching for one of these since the 23rd of September. And if not, I have basically run every single instance of Yamato V2 I could find looking for them, eventually finding out they did not appear to be dropping. Got 'em though! Jupiter gang, represent! These soaring blades are de facto best in slot until mid to late episode 6, boasting a whopping 20% potency boost on top of an absolutely great stat line. Not only that, whenever you use a photon art, they loose a bolt of lightning in your facing direction, dealing great damage proportionate to the PA you just used damage. Oh, but Silhouette, you say, it can't use S-grade augments. Forget S-grade augments. Well, no, don't, but this doesn't need them. These will stick around, being best in slot until maybe Liberate or Serpent weapons in Episode 6. And even then, you'll need the S5 augment that mimics the Jupiter's own special effect to overcome it. It's that good. If you're a bouncer, you want these. There's a reason they are going for several tens of millions of Meseta on the shop. Kazami no Tachi shows up again, with the katana boasting a significant boost to the effects of katana gear, making it the Episode 4 returning weapon for Bravers. The Lavis Cannon from Episode 4 remains the Fancy Techers weapon of choice, giving you wave attacks and super fast attack speed, with a minor potency increase. With the release of the Heavy Hammer Complex Photon art, the Tekkers sure is looking really fun. Another one of the high rarity items for this quest, Motav's Grimoire, now called Motav's Forbidden Book. Huge potency buff, very quick support casting, but Zondio gets a bit of a nerf. All three applicable classes can definitely use this to some great effect, and it looks really cool to boot. Another one of the high rarity items is the Rivaga Lola. It's a bit sad, as the Jupiter Tullus kinda steals this weapon's thunder. That said, it isn't a bad weapon altogether. It's a bit weaker than Jupiter's, but it has good potency to rival them, and it auto-charges focus while you're midair. The Rickrow Staff returns again from Episode 4, still being the dominant weapon of choice for summoners. Much like the Jupiter Tullus, this weapon will be the best-in-slot harmonizer in most cases until well into Episode 6 content. Sporting auto pet sympathy effects while Alter Ego is active, and adding Megid castings when using pet photon arts. Even if you're not a summoner, this is a coveted item worth millions. Spread Needle comes flying back into Episode 4 as well, with the unique ability to fire an extra attack that can stun enemies with normal attacks, making you want to use those instead of steady shot sometimes. It also gives a pretty sizable boost to your potency when you find the sweet spot of distance between you and the target. And finally, the last of the high rarity items is the Yasminkov 4000 FJ, which not only has a powerful potency increase, but also turns your grenades into 4 homing shells. Whew, if that sounds like a lot, guys, it is because it truly is. It might not even be everything, but it is instead just what we know is dropping from it now and in the past. The inclusion of the high rarity items weren't previously recorded for this quest on ARKS Visiphone or S-Wiki, so that's a brand new world for us. If you slept through Episode 4, and even if you didn't, this is truly the catch-up quest of the year, and will get you where you need to be on the road to Episode 5 and 6's new content. So buckle down and get moving. Last but not least, we have a new collection folder with Val weapons available for exchange. If you've been having particularly bad luck with the Crimson Fellworm and even now Bewitched wood drops for Val weapons, and can't afford them from the player shops despite them going for relatively low prices in the very low millions, then you can farm them through the sheets here. Remember, exchange weapons, whether from collection sheets or exchange shops, will always be capped at plus 30, so you will need about 6 of them to get them up to plus 35. This is made worse by the fact that they are time locked, so I'd still recommend the grind year method personally. Still, as with most of these new collection sheets with the nice 13-star items, they are good for breaking down for materials if you are looking for Goldnia and Safard for your Atlas weapons. And that's it, guys. Sorry for taking a few days to get this out, just wanted to go over some of the new stuff and try to pare it down as much as possible, while also getting all the information that is really important for you. Among other items in this update are the new Nier Automata collab packs. Franca's Cafe looks a little bit different now. There's a Twitter giveaway going on, and there's a new AC and Fun Scratch, as well as new campaigns. I'll leave links in the description for each of those. They're relatively simple. Let me know down in the comments how your trick-or-treating has been going. I've been having a grand old time since I got my Jupiters, so I'm hoping everyone else has managed to get some great treats of their own. Remember to like and subscribe if you want me to be your best friend, or just want me to get off your back about it, or you just genuinely like this content and think I'm a cool guy. Check me out on Twitch and here on YouTube. I stream regularly each week in the mornings and on Saturday nights every other week. As always, I'm Silhouette, and I'm signing off. Good luck, ARKS Ops, and may you have all the rare drops.